How's it going, everybody? I drove vast distances to come to Chino, California, which is actually one of my favorite POTA locations, is right down the road here, Chino Hills. But I'm at 12VoltPower with Kevin. How's it going?
Great, nice to see you.
We talked at Hamvention. You guys picked up Comet and Daiwa, and that really kind of fleshed out your already pretty impressive product line. And you guys said, come on over and let's see what you guys are talking about. And here's just some of your Kevin's personal picks.
Yeah, this is the latest and greatest and top sellers. So
yeah, so why don't we just start walking through here?
Okay.
You guys can talk about what you got available, and then we may splash in some other fun stuff with other videos in the future, talking about this whole bank of stuff behind me, which you'll see probably in another video. But what do we got?
Okay, well, I'll start off here with our CA 2x4. It's by far our #1 seller. It's a wideband, dual band antenna. Mm-hmm. It's available with a UHF or NMO mount, and believe it or not, the NMO is still the most popular. So I wanted to say it still sells better.
NMO is selling more now?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
I just think a lot of people are using it in other industries like GMRS and commercial as well as ham, and they all use NMO mounts.
Now, so talk about this a little bit. I tested this one along with the rest of the Comet line on my truck. This was one of the better performers. I think the other one, what is the other one? The SBB5?
Yes.
Yeah? So what's the major differences between those two antennas?
The big difference is that this one's just more broadbanded. So it's designed for VHF, UHF, 140 to the 160 range.
Okay.
And then basically your 430 up to 465, 470. So you can use this on marine, GMRS, mirrors, besides ham radio.
Got it.
It's kind of cool. So we have this antenna, very popular. We have an optional spring that you can actually put in here, and that'll allow it to bend more if you want it. Some people like it, some people don't. So
and it doesn't change the performance at all?
No, it
really
takes out the exact same amount of metal as you put in, so it's identical.
Just does my favorite thing, which is prevent my wife from killing my antenna when she drives into the parking structure. Yeah. I lost 2 mobile antennas in the last year when she was driving my truck, so there you go.
No, it's great. That's kind of it's a neat product. The other one that's brand new, we only came out with about 2 months ago. It's called the FC5. Once again, we make an NMO or a UHF configuration. This is for GMRS and mirrors only. Okay, so we had a lot of people that were not hams that were buying this one, but then they said, why don't you make one just for those two markets? So the high power, the VHF as well as the UHF. This is cut at 465 as well as 151. So it's kind of a great little antenna for that. And once again, we make both different mounts for this. So
and this is the reminiscent style of that SBB5 with the little corkscrew in the middle. So you're basically getting the VHF UHF pair out of the cut of this.
And we call it a higher cut.
Right, high cut.
So most of the time in ham radio we have what we call low cut. It's cut at 445 and 145. This one's cut a lot higher, 151 and 465.
While we're holding this, since this is new, we should mention that you can find all of your stuff at Ham Radio Outlet, Gigaparts, and DX Engineering, right?
They have all those, yes.
That's excellent, okay.
So that's something new. The dealers just got these in. Now, besides the mobile antennas, we also have our CP5 NMO. This is a mount that actually fits on a variety of vehicles. It ratchets, you can rotate, it does pretty much everything. It's got a small little feed line that comes into the vehicle, very little loss, and then it comes in. So this is easy. So when people call us up and say, I don't know how I'm gonna mount my antenna, if they buy this, I'm 90% sure they can figure out how to do it.
Some lip somewhere.
Right, and then on the bottom, the same thing. We've got protection here, so they can put little Allen screws in on the lip, and it protects their car. So this is kind of a cool thing.
We were talking beforehand about this one. You got a wide base on here. A lot of people are running the FT891 with the ATOS antenna, and this is pretty wide. And I know that I used this on my my Nissan back before I got the F-150, and I ran the ATOS off of this, and it was fine. It was able to handle it. Have you heard people doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I've heard people put a variety of antennas on there. They'll use Comet and other brands as well. But what's nice is you can put that on, you can remove it. It won't scratch the paint. It's kind of a neat deal. So.
Yeah, excellent.
So that's what we have there.
Comet has a ton of mobile antennas, right? We talked about them in the past, but you also have just a ton of handheld antennas. A ton.
We do.
Right, so your favorites, what are these?
Right, so I'm going to talk a little about it. If you buy a Kenwood, Yaesu, ICOM, AnyTone, all the popular brands, they all come with what I call a medium duty antenna, okay? It's going to do a good job, not a great job, okay? Because they're radio companies and they're not going to, some people want longer, some people want shorter. So what we did is we've got a variety. We've got the The SMA 24 series, we have them with both standard SMA and regular SMA. So
is this aluminum, or is this like a plastic?
That's plastic right there, and the rest is metal. But what's nice about these, this is actually made with eyeglass material for like glasses, and so you can actually take it, make knots, do whatever, and it doesn't hurt it. It goes back straight again.
And so it's a real small little.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we've got all the SMA mounts, standard and male and female.
What's the difference here? Is this they're the same?
They're
2
the
meter,
same.
70 centimeter.
Yeah, they're tuned the same. It's
different,
just different threads.
Different gender.
So yeah, we tell people, call us up. Is it SMA male or female? We can kind of figure it out. So
Okay,
those are kind of fun. That'll give you roughly about a couple dB gain over what the stock antennas that come with most handheld radios.
Excellent. Quick teleportation hack. We're going to keep working down the line here. Moving into now the 12-volt systems, kind of, your company now affiliated with Comet and Daiwa. This is kind of your bread and butter stuff, right?
Yes.
So a lot of cool products here. What's your favorites?
Okay, let me show you right here. So for most of the hams out there, amateur radio guys like these little boxes. They have a little of everything. They've got all the various contacts in them. They have all the various housings in them. And if you take this with you, along with the crimp tool, you can crimp anywhere, anything you want. Any possible thing.
Don't forget your wire, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about the wire next. That's pretty cool. So we have the little kits here for the various wire sizes. So this is our little kit. And then when you start running low on those, we make little refill kits. So all of our major distributors sell the Powerpole kits, so you can just refill and you've always got what you need. It's kind of a handy thing. Next up, we have a product. It's called a little retention clip, and RC. And it's hard to see, but basically what that does is it allows you on critical communications to lock this in. So what you would do is you take this, plug it in, and then you drop in this holder. So now if you're in an airplane, a boat, an emergency vehicle, there's no way that'll ever come apart.
Right.
It's really nice. So something like this is very popular now for people. You normally don't need it, but if somebody wants it, we have these available.
Now, but wait, there's more. You showed me your example there.
Right.
That there's a little slot that allows you to run a zip cord through it.
Right, so let's just say this is critical and you're putting it on an airplane, for example, okay? You can actually put the pin in here, the RC retaining clip, and then you can put a wire tie through it. And what's nice about that is there's no way in the world that's ever going to come apart.
Right.
And in most ham radio, it's critical, but this is, once again, one other step. So we actually include in our kit a few wire ties, plastic ties, as well as these retaining clips. So
your example used beforehand was it the local sheriffs, first responders? Because they change vehicles, every couple of years. And so instead of snipping wires, soldering new connectors, or soldering a permanent connection, they're doing that now.
Right. We have a couple of major police agencies now. So most police cars have a mobile computer and a two-way radio, and they need 12 volt, a connection that's not going to come loose. So by putting these retaining clips on here, there's no way it's going to happen. And every 3 or 4 years, when they swap out the vehicle, they simply pull the clip out, undo it, put the move the radios to a new vehicle, put the clip back in. They don't have to do any new connections. It's good to go.
Which, for some of you ham guys that change radios like you change, underwear, you might want to have something like that you can just quickly change in and out. So that works perfectly. So
that's the Anderson Powerpoles. We sell 2 to 3 million pieces of those a year, and mainly to the ham radio industrial markets. But now you're seeing more and more, like I say, an emergency vehicle, police, fire, stuff like that.
Good overlap. Good overlap.
It's great. Along those lines, we also make a whole line of connectors. So here's a stock one, like you want to put this on your power supply, and you've got your fuse here, and you can add different things to that. So that's kind of a slick, handy feature. We make just pre-made cables, and then new for us, we make all of these new HF connectors. So when you buy any of the new brand, Yaesu, Kenwood, ICOM, you can actually, this goes in the back of the radio, and we have them pre-made for Anderson connectors. So we have one with a fuse, one without a fuse, and then we have a short one here. People want a short jumper.
Which is great for polo.
Right. Yeah. And if somebody wants more of a stock one, we even make a long 6-foot one, 6 or 7 feet, plugs in, and then you've got your HF radio as well here. So all these HF, and so people, it's hard to work with HF4 connectors, as we call it, so we pre-do them for them.
Yeah, so it's 4 wires, guys. I know you're seeing this in the B-roll right now.
They're 14, so it's red's 14 and black. You have 2 of each.
Yeah.
Which gives you enough current to handle the 20 amps.
And what happens happens here, what I like with this is I like the little short guys because then you take the jumper, right? The jumper could go into a charge controller or directly to your battery terminals, and then it's just a matter of swapping things out like accessories instead of it being, oh, I got to crimp up a new cable, be ready. You know, this goes in your kit, and then whatever your power source is, you just plug into it and you're done. Yeah,
you're good to go.
Love this. And again, these are all available. You can get these at all the major retailers too. So yeah,
they've got them all in stock right now. You can go online and get those.
Excellent.
Another quick connect, we have some people that don't want to crimp connections. Sometimes people want Anderson, but they're afraid to do it. And that's fine, there's a phobia for that. So we've come up with a quick connect. So all you need to do is take the 2 wires, put it in the back of this connector, and you just press the levers down, and that's it. And so now you can keep this in your toolbox, and once again, put the red in the red, black, push it down, and now you have a quick connect. And that's kind of slick because now, in a moment's notice, I can take a positive negative cable and make a Anderson connector in less than 10 seconds.
And if you've been watching YouTube, you've seen this connection. This has been the YouTube darling for a little while now. This is you're selling. This is the creators, the creator of this product.
Yes.
This isn't something they copied and are trying to make money off it. You're working.
We
with
actually buy that from them and resell it to everyone because he's good at it. So.
Yes. So if you want the good legit one, you can come to 12VoltPower, or you can go to now the major retailers.
And they're going to have all of these.
Yeah. These are great for field day, hint guys, or any POTA activation where you have inevitably a failure in something. It always happens. So throwing these, get a couple of these, throw it in your box that you take with you, and there you go. You got a good solution.
I have a lot of people that want us to check the radio, and they go, "Oh, but I don't have an Anderson connector." Just grab it out, put it in, and they're on the air. It's kind of slick. We have another one. It's called a DC watt meter. You've seen these around. Once again, this one here, you just plug it in your source, and then you run through. It'll give you your watts, your amperage, and your watt hours. And these sell for roughly, just under $39, something like that. And they're pretty slick. Good to have in your toolbox to be able to check. Also, a lot of people, when they're not sure on their HF radio, say put it in line and see what the current's drawing, stuff like that. So
also for solar.
Yes.
If you're in the field running solar and you don't know what you're drawing, you'll run for 2 hours thinking you're charging your battery and floating it at 100 watts. Really, the solar's not in a great position. Your battery, you're literally killing the voltage. You should have dialed back the power, an hour ago. These are very helpful for that.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
And one other thing that we carry, we supply all the major manufacturers now, is the AnyTone radio. So whether you buy the handhelds, the mobiles, whatever, all those, we bring those in. We take care of all the warranty support, all the tech support over the phone.
Oh, great.
So we take care of all that. So when people buy a radio, sometimes when you buy an AnyTone, the DMR can be a little, it's not just putting a tone and an offset in it. There's code plugs you have to build. So once again, we can walk them through it, at least get them started. Or email them a basic code plug to get them going. So once again,
that's great.
It's kind of slick. So on the AnyTone, it's available at all the major manufacturers. We're the ones that usually supply that to everyone, and then we also do the support on it. So it's kind of nice.
You got a pro feature, though, I heard on this that some of the others don't have. Charging?
Yes. I got to show you something a little slick. So all of the AnyTones come with a 3100 milliamp battery. It's great. It lasts a day and a half. It's awesome. All the radios that we supply now to all our distributors, not only is a 3100 milliamp battery, so it comes, you can drop it in the desk charger, but also it has a little USB-C. Okay. So if you're in your car for a few minutes, you can just take a standard USB-C, plug it in, and now it will charge in the vehicle as well. This is something brand new, and we just started supplying these to all of our distributors now with this value-added battery. Not charging any extra, same battery capacity, you didn't lose anything, but you get the USB-C.
Is it quick charge by chance, like PD or anything like that? Do you know?
No, it's fast, but not as fast as like the desk charger, but it's still going to go pretty fast.
Okay.
But the idea is you plug it in for a couple hours and you're charged up. It's too hard to take a desk charger in a vehicle, so now you have the best of both worlds, a desk charger or this. So this new battery does come with the radios that we supply. So
USB-C, all the things.
Everything's going that way. Next up, we'll skip over, we'll go to the watt meters. Besides the Comet brand that we took over 2.5 months ago, North and South America distribution, we have the Daiwa brand. We have 6 watt meters we sell. This one here is by far the CN501, the most popular. We have all these different ones. Daiwa is famous because 25 years ago they came up with the cross needle technology, which means you can see your forward and reverse power output. The patent just expired on it. A lot of people copy it, but these were the originators of it. So this one here's the 501's the most popular because it covers all the HF and your VHF. So this one does the most. We have some other ones that are VHF, UHF. We have other ones with higher power output. So there's 5 of these brands of these, but it's pretty slick.
Daiwa doesn't get enough love because it is a Japanese brand. They're very high quality. This one's, you said this was pretty wide too. This goes from VHF down to 1.8, which is really great.
Yeah.
And 6 different meters too, right? You have
we have six different options, so quite a bit. And some of them go up to over 3,000 watts. Most people don't need that, but if you're dreaming someday, we do have 3,000 watts.
Mere mortals can only assume what it's like to use 3,000 watts. But again, links will be in the description for all of this, but you owe it to yourself to look at Daiwa. They're a really good, high-quality product too.
Yeah, it is kind of slick. All right, before I go into some of the specialty vehicle stuff, I skipped over one and I want to show you. So the Comet, this is a great little, called the CAA 500. It's been around for a while, made some changes and upgrades, but you can see on the poster behind me here, it does a digital graph or the cross needles, and we use these actually not only for ham radio, but commercial radio, marine, whatever band it is, GMRS. You can actually check your antenna and see where it's radiating and see if it's good or bad. So when people buy antennas, sometimes they're worried it's not a great match, they'll send it back to us. We just take this out and it works. It's a super thing. It works on a 12-volt power, or it also has built-in a couple of AA batteries.
I'm gonna borrow one for a little while here because you've all seen these. It's got the screen, it's got the big meter on top. It does a whole lot, but you look at it and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. And that's kind of how I feel about this. So we're going to take a little bit of time back home to kind of deep dive how this all functions, because I'm interested in what I heard, that you can overlay multiple antennas on the screen.
Yes.
Or I should say frequencies on the screen, and then you can kind of get a single shot of like a multiband antenna, which I think that's unique kind of in this space. So I'm excited to try that. So stay tuned.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, perfect. And then I've got a couple last minute items. So 12, our background 12-volt power, not only do we supply 12-volt power for all kinds of vehicles, we do a lot of fleet, emergency, fire trucks, police cars, ambulances. So this is something that we use a lot in those vehicles, but the ham radio guys really love this. You just attach this to your positive stud on it, and it gives you 1, 2, 3 fused outputs right here. So you can quickly off your battery have 3 separate fused outputs, and this is your ground. You put this on the ground lug, and you've got different ground studs, and a cover goes over each one. So this is a simple way for less than $50. You can add a fuse block, and then you're properly covered. So these so popular. This is something in the last year has really taken off for the ham radio.
I didn't even think about this, but all those guys who run like Go boxes and whatnot, or like the battery box, you could attach that directly to the battery, and that could be your terminal connection for your light that you have, or the the Powerpole breakout and all that stuff. Yeah. But also just a good option too for vehicles.
It's a simple, easy way to add without getting complicated. That's it. And then one other one we call, this is from Blue, these are both Blue Sea products. This is called an ATD, automatic timer disconnect. And we started selling these a lot in ham radio. And what it is, it's got just take the cover off, it's got 2 lugs here. One's power in off the battery, the other one goes power out to all your radios or your accessories or whatever you have. And what's nice about this is not only a low voltage disconnect, it's also a timer disconnect. So most people will set these like at 11.5 or 11.6 on your car battery, and then also set it for an hour or 2 hours. So when you get out of your vehicle, an hour later, either low voltage or the timer will always disconnect. Your battery's always good. And these are pretty slick. This one actually is rated at 120 amps. Most people are never going to need 100.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they're not going to need 120 amps.
Oh no.
But just in case, something like this on $130, but it's got the timer, and then you never have to worry about always turning off your radios or doing it. They're always going to be off an hour or 2 after.
That is one of the big things that hams get scared about, is wiring directly to the battery, because they know that they're going to forget. One day they're going to forget. And most radios have an auto time off. That's true. But this is great because of the voltage too.
Right. It covers you
and time.
It's both voltage as well as time. Either one trips, then you're safe.
Yeah, that's great. And then that's actually an indicator that your battery may be going bad on you.
Yeah.
So if this trips while you're driving, there's a forward
there's going to be a problem. So.
Yeah, that's super cool. Okay, so we mentioned the retailers all having these products, but 12-volt power, you do some other additional things like your wires and other stuff like that. There are certain instances where people should probably go check out your website too.
Right.
So
right. A lot of the stuff that we sell for emergency and specialty vehicle type stuff for fleets, it's not, some of the dealers carry it, a lot of them don't yet. So what I tell people, go to www.12voltpower.com and you can see all the various things from wire, cables, fuse blocks, all the stuff that's specialty. So
right. Excellent. Well, guys, I want to see your comments below because I'm really, truly not that far from here. We're just kidding. It's only a couple cities over. I'd love to come back and do some more videos with them. So you tell us what you want to see more. Go to their websites, check it all out, and then we'll do some testing. And yeah, Kevin, thanks a lot for taking the time
for coming
and
out,
walking
yeah.
us through the product line. This is awesome. I was very excited to talk with you guys at Convention because of this Comet, Daiwa, 12-volt power relationship now. So super cool and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
See you in Huntsville, right?
Huntsville, we'll see you there.